Hello, my name is Gerhard Serton. Myself, Dino, Bossi, and Gustavo de Souza Mendes were responsible for the Milk Matters App 2.0, which we will be discussing in this video. Just some background to the project. This is the continuation of a project started in 2016 in collaboration between UCT and Milk Matters, a human breast milk bank. The original application was developed to increase donor motivation and was designed using co-design techniques. The application was well received by project participants, but ultimately did not see widespread adoption after the project ended. We've hypothesized this to be due to the app's reliance on static hard-coded content, as well as a lack of support for the iOS mobile platform. And as such, our initial goals going into the project were to remedy these issues. Our design process was one of co-design, utilizing both donors and staff associated with Milk Matters as participants. However, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, this part had to be conducted entirely remotely using online video conferencing tools. Both groups underwent separate three-stage interview processes, with an additional survey being distributed to the donor group. In stage 1 was an initial onboarding interview designed to familiarize participants with the format of the study as well as collect several functional and non-functional requirements. Stage 2 was a prototype evaluation based on a paper prototype designed using feedback from stage 1. Finally, in stage 3 was a final application evaluation. This was similar to stage 2 in content, but this time used the final developed application instead of the paper prototype. Here are some key requirements we gathered during this design phase. Of note are the following. In the functional requirements section, we wanted to have feature parity with the previous application. Additionally, we wanted the application to be usable in some form by non-registered donors. However, in this case, we wanted to encourage the non-donors to register with Milk Matters as milk donors. In the non-functional section, we needed in-app content to be dynamic and updatable. Additionally, the backend services used to achieve this needed to be low cost, low maintenance, and secure. Finally, we needed to remain sensitive towards different donation amounts, as donation sizes can vary greatly between donors. Here you can see the final architecture we settled on. We ultimately ended up developing two applications, a donor-facing application and a staff-facing application. Both of these operate in tandem with the same backend systems. When splitting the work for this project, it was designed that Dino Bossi would be in charge of designing and developing the donor-facing application. Gustavo, on the other hand, would be in charge of designing and developing the staff-facing application. Myself, Gerhard Serton, would be in charge of designing and developing the backend of the system, as well as assisting in the development of both staff and donor applications. All three of us had a hand in designing and performing the interviews. We developed both front-end applications using Flutter. Flutter allows for easy cross-platform development and has support for web applications, making it perfect for our needs. We use Google Firebase for its database services and user authentication services. We chose Google Firebase due to its attractive free tier, which was easy to stay in our case, and its pay-as-you-go model, which meant that if Milk Matters needed to upgrade its tier, it wouldn't cost much in the future. Additionally, Google Firebase has strong integration with Flutter and is relatively easy to use. When designing the UI of the application, we made an effort to match the aesthetic and styling Milk Matters uses in all its other communications with donors. This was done in order to emphasize to users that the app was indeed endorsed by Milk Matters, and to therefore make them comfortable using it. We also made an effort to follow established UI design principles. Our goal was to create a user experience that supports and motivates donors, increases interaction and communication capabilities with Milk Matters, and remains conscious of the individual donor experience, especially with regards to donation amounts. The application was developed using the recommended provider and consumer model to handle asynchronous data. New content is fetched when the Firebase real-time database SDK detects changes in the online database compared to the on-device database. These two databases are then synchronized and the changes are carried over to the device. This model allows for the application to function without an internet connection, as the SDK will simply rely on the on-device version of the database. As mentioned earlier, a concerted effort was made to port and upgrade existing functionality from the previous version of the app to this version of the donor-facing app. This functionality includes a donation tracker, a depot locator, educational resources, a news and events feed, and a contact Milk Matters page. New functionality was also implemented, including the ability to allow donors to declare donation drop-offs to Milk Matters, user authentication, the ability for users to suggest educational resources to Milk Matters, the sharing of in-app content to social media platforms, a donor pre-screening questionnaire, and a frequently asked questions page. The staff-facing Milk Matters web application is used to provide dynamic content to the donor application through Firebase's real-time database. Additionally, it's also used to authenticate users to allow them to use donor-only functionality. Through the staff-facing web app, many account management features can be utilized. A user can register a donor number, delete a donor number, create a staff account, and reset a staff password. Some further functionality allows staff members to add, edit, or delete depot information from a depot list, article information from an article list, and news and events information from the news and events list. Additionally, staff members are able to see donation amounts in depots declared from the donor app, and accept or decline articles suggested from the donor app. This concludes the video outlining the Milk Mendes 2.0 project.